business owner or an aspiring entrepreneur, you may be wondering just what it takes to make it. Who better to answer that question than Tony Robbins, a sought-after life and business strategist for more than 3 decades. Robbins is a recognized authority on the psychology of leadership, negotiations, and organizational turnaround. He's written 5 international bestsellers and has been honored by Harvard Business Press as one of the top 200 business gurus. He also was named in the top 50 of Worth Magazine's 100 most powerful people in global finance in 2015. Entrepreneur, contributor, and creator and host of Behind the Brand, Brian Elliott, sat down with Tony Robbins to talk about his keys to success.
Hi, I'm Tony Robbins, and you're watching Behind the Brand.
Hi, I'm Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. Today I'm here with business and life strategist, #1 New York Times bestseller, and philanthropist, Tony Robbins. Tony, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Brian.
You know, a lot of people watch this show are entrepreneurs.
Great.
And so do you think that's something that we're born with? Is it in our DNA? Or is it something that can be taught and learned?
I believe it absolutely can be taught and learned, but we're born with an essence. But what we do with that essence, the development side, is really our choice. And being an entrepreneur is something that some people, it's instinctive in them that they want to run the show. They want to make it happen. They have a passion and they want to bring it to the world. And I think that's what starts a business person. The only problem is becoming an effective entrepreneur is different than being an entrepreneur. How many entrepreneurs you know, they got like 3 businesses and there isn't one of them that's really working that well. It's like, I'm not good with one child, let me have 2 more kids simultaneously, right? So what I do is I train entrepreneurs and I train business owners. And you probably know, I deal with some of the most successful business owners in the world. I don't just deal with CEOs, I deal with founder CEOs like Mark Benioff at Salesforce.com. I started that business right out of one of my seminars, said I'm gonna grow this to $100 million and he's gonna do $8 billion this year, Or around the corner here, Peter Guber owns the Dodgers and owns the NBA Warriors, got 52 Academy Awards. So I coach people like that. Anyone can become a pilot and fly a plane when the weather's good. But you have to have special certifications called IFR to read when there's bad weather or fog. You can't see anything, so you gotta be able to read those gauges. Most entrepreneurs don't know how to read their gauges. They know how to do it well when the sun's out, which is why in 10 years, 96% of them are gone, 4% make it. And make it doesn't mean that they make any money, it just means they're still standing. So learning how to manage the financial intelligence of your business, learning marketing, learning how to recruit, learning how to train is the skill side, but you need the psychology and the skills together to execute.
Yeah, what are some of those principles? Can you break it down?
Well, yeah, I look at business and say, you have to work harder on the business than you do in the business, which is not a new term, but it's an important way to think. I take them through this immersion. I say there's pillars of your business. So one of those is knowing where you really are and where you really want to go, as simplistic as that is. And when I say know where you are, like know what business you're really in. When Steve Jobs took back over Apple in '97, the first thing he said is sat everybody down, and I know this because Mark Benioff was coached by him, and said, what business are we in? And everyone said, the computer business. He goes, then we're screwed because we have 2% of that business. And Microsoft in those days was 98% of that business. And he said, we got to connect to something larger. What makes us different? And they started coming up with language like, we connect people to their passions and we deliver it in the coolest way, in a way that always works. When they started connecting their passions, they said, what are people's passions? And they went, music, changed the entire company. And it was pictures, and then it was communications, which led to phone. And today, it's not Apple computers, it's Apple. They changed the name even. And, more than half of Apple's business, they're a phone company today. They never would have done that unless they were able to change from we're a computer company to what business are we really in. The second thing I guide people through is to figure out who are you? Because we all have different gifts, right? And as an entrepreneur, we're all entrepreneurial. But some entrepreneurs are artists. They're like incredibly skilled. Maybe they do incredible design of fashion, or maybe they write great code, or maybe their skill or their gift is they can sell ice to an Eskimo. They're a great negotiator, persuader. But most people start a business are an artist. They know how to run a business. They just have something they believe in, and they go market it, but they don't grow very much because they're trying to deliver what they want to deliver, and they really don't know enough about what their client really needs and wants. And the second type of person is a manager leader. The manager leader is someone who loves to manage people and processes. They don't care about making the product or service. It's the system they want to manage. The third kind of person is an entrepreneur, and I don't mean entrepreneurial, I mean a real entrepreneur loves risk. If you understand this, you got to say, who am I and who do I need? If you're an artist and you're going to grow, you need to lead a manager leader to partner with, because they're going to have the structure that'll let you grow. If you're just an artist, you're going to be probably self-employed and not grow at the level you want. And all this is teachable. Real fast, another component we do is what's next? Where are you right now in the life cycle of the business? Just like a child, you got your 4 kids, you know, there are predictable problems when a child is, an infant. You know they're going to go to the bathroom in their pants. You know they're going to get an earache. First time you have a child, you run to the hospital. Third child, it's a problem, but we got this thing handled, right? You have to know what stage you are in your business development to make it work. You got to master marketing, you got to master sales, you got to master optimization. So what I teach people is we teach them all these skills. We immerse them. And then we give them 90 minutes a week, every week, to work on one of these 7 pillars every week with their people, their army of 2 or their army of 20,000. And when you work on the business, not in the business, when you realize there's 2 businesses I gotta manage, the business I'm in and the business I need to become. If I just work on the future, my business falls apart. If I just work on this, I'm not ready for the future and someone's gonna compete and beat me. When you do 90 minutes a week like that and you're skilled and you're trained, you can grow your business.
A lot to think about from Tony. Thanks so much, Brian.